My name is Gemini Davis, and this is the Best Man Speech. We're all gathered here today to witness the union of Bill and Maria. There comes a time in a man's life when he meets that special someone, that person that's going to love him for the rest of their days, their soulmate. For Bill, that moment came about 15 years ago when he met me. Let me introduce myself. My name's Jamal. Bill and I met in the Army. Bill helped me so much to make a career out of the military. His guidance in navigating all the stupidity that the Army has to offer has been invaluable. Since I met Bill, he's been my best friend, and I would do anything for him. So when Bill asked me to be his best man 3 months ago, I was honored. Plus, that means planning a bachelor party? I'm all over that. An excuse to interview strippers? Let the recruiting begin. But I soon found out there's way more to being a best man than just planning some debauchery. Bill brought me with him to pick out his rings. He dragged me down to the courthouse to file for his marriage license. I had to keep in contact with the rest of the groomsmen. I even had to keep a few of these knuckle draggers from getting arrested at said bachelor party. I also have to keep this stack of envelopes safe. They're payments for the vendors so that we can have this shindig. But when Bill asked me to deliver a speech at his wedding, I wanted to refuse. I have crippling anxiety, and the thought of speaking in front of a crowd, that's petrifying to me. Just writing a speech is already painfully frustrating. I could get like 3 sentences down on paper, and then I just run out of words. At this point, I usually ended up pacing in my living room and chain smoking cigarettes. There's an oval worn in the carpet around my coffee table, and it took me like 3 packs of cigarettes just to get this far. Shit, 5 minutes before I knew I had to get up in front of y'all, my body temperature rose like 50 degrees. My palms are still sweaty, and my mouth is as dry as a desert. My imagination kept running wild, thinking about all of y'all laughing at me and not with me. So about a month ago, I had a decision to make. I could work more on this speech, or I could bail on Bill. I could call him and tell him, I can't do this. And I started to. I picked up the phone and rang up Bill, but he answered on the first ring, and he could sense the hesitation in my voice immediately. All I could think about was the look on Bill's face when he asked me to be his best man. It melted my heart. He had these giant puppy dog eyes I just couldn't say no to. I wouldn't have been able to live with myself if I did. So I told Bill, I pocket dialed him by accident, and quickly hung up the phone. 2 more weeks went by, and I still couldn't figure out what I was going to say here tonight. So I turned to the place where all millennials go to get the answers to humanity's biggest problems. I Googled that shit. The third result was a webpage with 4 steps in overcoming anxiety. Step 1 is to understand the problem. Well, for me, I'm a defective human that needs adult supervision at all times. Check. Step 2, define the scope. The scope was to express to my best friend how happy I am to see him here with Maria. A beautiful woman that treats Bill better than any lady I've ever seen treat a man. Watching Bill's face light up when he talks about her really shows how much she cherishes him. Bill would move heaven and earth for her. So step 3 was to make a plan. All right, I had to come up with a better plan than just pacing in my living room and chain smoking a million cigarettes. I figured a bottle of liquid courage would be required to get me to do this. So I poured another drink and I took a peek at step 4. Step 4 was take the first step. So after a bottle of scotch, I started thinking about how I try my best to be social. I make plans with friends, hoping that they call and cancel. And then I spend too much time overthinking about the things I'm missing out on. Delivering this speech isn't going to be something that I'm going to sit around regretting, wishing that I had done. So I took the first step. I thought about how Maria treated Bill over the years. Watching them together really made me believe that love is worth persevering for, through all its faults. Through family illnesses, in long distance relationships, and through the multiple rejections that Maria gave Bill in the beginning. I hope that your love, laughter, and smiles will never end. So it's without further ado, I'd like to propose a toast to Bill and Maria. The man doesn't have to be perfect, and the woman doesn't have to be perfect. They just have to be perfect for each other. Cheers.